Alright, Galaxy S20 Fan Edition. I've been using it for about a week now, and I want to go ahead and talk to you guys a little bit about how long this guy's going to get you through a day of use, and of course, performance. So we kind of know where this guy sits at already. 4,500 milliamp hours, 1080p display, 120 Hz refresh rate, a Snapdragon 865 processor, and 6 gigs of RAM. Believe it or not, that sounds like a top-of-the-line flagship device, minus of course the 1080p display and those 6 gigs RAM. But even then, the Note 20 sits also at that 1080p 120 Hz refresh rate because it's capped. Yes, you can do Quad HD, but it's capped at that 1080p 120 Hz. That being said, this guy sits at around $700. It can easily get me through a full day of moderate use, whether it be gaming, scrolling through social media, streaming any sort of content, whether it be YouTube, Netflix, Hulu. I really don't have to worry about plugging this guy in until around 7 or 8 o'clock that day, and I would honestly have that 1080p trade-off than have to worry about battery life. And this guy delivers. Now, the Snapdragon 865 processor and the 6 gigs of RAM are more than enough to get you through your day-to-day. Split screen, pop-up window, even having multiple apps open in the background. The phone really does perform well, although you will see the occasional stutter or lag when opening apps, but it's never really too frequent. Another issue I did see, at least when having, again, those multiple apps open, is that with the higher intensive apps, you will see them have to refresh a lot more frequent, but nothing too crazy. Again, even when gaming though, at the highest possible settings on Call of Duty Mobile, I really didn't see any drop frames. It's pretty smooth, or I had a pretty smooth experience over on my end. Now, the 120 Hz refresh rate really does play a huge role on how smooth the device feels. I honestly think Samsung did a great job at capping this device at 1080p, 120 Hz, and keeping the device at 4,500 milliamp hours. And I haven't even considered going to that standard 60 Hz refresh rate. Once you've had a taste, it's really hard to go back. And considering that battery life is fairly good, even when pushing the 120 Hz, the only time I'd go 60 Hz is if I really needed that extra battery life. But as for my screen on time, I was averaging about 6 hours of screen on time for what I would consider fairly moderate use. And for those standard normal days where you're kind of just scrolling through social media, answering a few emails, phone calls, text messages, it's about 3.5 hours of screen on time with about 35 to 40% battery life left for the following day, which is pretty good. But again, remember that my use may differ from yours, of course, so don't take that to heart. But furthermore, anything from opening the camera to switching between apps, basically the essentials, the Snapdragon 865 will zoom through anything you throw at it. Having the ability to go from having your phone in your pocket to ready to take a picture within seconds is definitely a plus in my books. And although I know there are devices that can push 120 Hz at Quad HD, I truly believe Samsung did good in capping the S20 Fan Edition at 1080p, just because they don't have to commit the battery life to pushing those extra pixels, although it would be nice to have that option. So after about a week of using the S20 Fan Edition, I've actually really enjoyed using the device. The flat display, the Snapdragon 865 processor, the 6 gigs of RAM have actually proven to be enough. It does have flagship specs, and it's even hard to consider that this isn't a flagship device. For $700 and in some instances $600, I definitely recommend you check out this phone. But anyways, that's been it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button as well as subscribe. And if you have any questions regarding this phone, or if you guys want to see any new content or any more content again regarding this phone, go ahead and drop a comment down below and I'll make sure to make that happen. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.